Hey, everybody, welcome back to another Motivation Monday podcast for Monday, March 12th, 2018. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hope you had a great weekend and welcome to a brand new week. So, before we get into the show, just wanted to shout out our sponsor for the month, Rejuvenate. You guys know that I love this product. I've talked a lot about it on the past bunch of episodes of the podcast, but really can't say enough. So make sure you go and check them out if you're frustrated with your reads, if you're looking for a better product, a better way to store your reads so that they will just be a lot easier to play, save you money, save you time, all that kind of stuff. You need to check out this product. So go to rejuvenate.com, or you can head over to our website and click on the Rejuvenate link to go over to their website. And I promise you won't be disappointed with this product. I mean, it really has changed the way that I handle the storage of my reads. And it's just made my life as a read player a heck of a lot easier and a heck of a lot better. So make sure you go and check them out, rejuvenate.com. And thanks to them for sponsoring the podcast. All right, so today I wanted to talk about something. I was hanging out with a friend of mine, Chris, yesterday, and we got to talking about this doctoral dissertation that we had both read by a pianist named Lefteris Cortis. And I hope I'm saying that right. I'm not really sure if I am, but sorry to him if I am butchering that name. But there's this really great doctoral dissertation that he wrote for the New England Conservatory of Music about Charlie Banakis. Now, if you're not familiar with Charlie Banakis, he's an absolutely legendary teacher in the Boston area. Really, really good friends and contemporaries with the famous saxophonist Jerry Bergonzi. And when he was alive, he actually had a 2-year waiting list for lessons to be able to study with him. And he was actually such a popular teacher that you could take lessons with him through correspondence, through the mail. So you would actually, send in a recording of yourself playing. He would send you back assignments. You would record everything, send them back to him. So, I mean, this should give you an idea of what a legendary educator Charlie Banakis was, and his system for developing improvisation in his students was just, there's really no other word for it besides legendary. Some of the best musicians in the world have studied with him. And pretty much anybody who was kind of in that Boston education scene studied with him at some point over the years. And he was just fantastic. He had this method that could really bring you from 0 to 100 in a very, very short period of time. Obviously, a lot of hard work that went into it, but he was just a fantastic educator and a fantastic human being. And unfortunately, he passed away a couple of years ago. And the music scene in general, the education scene has really never been the same since he's left us. So I wanted to relate to you a funny story that Chris was telling me about yesterday. And I actually went and read through this doctoral dissertation this morning. And this story really, really struck me as being really a great anecdote that kind of illustrates what we want to talk about today. And kind of the gist of this podcast today is to remember that music is really a spiritual experience. And I think we get caught up in a lot of the technical aspects. I'm very guilty of this. I mean, I have a podcast called The 10-Minute Jazz Lesson where we discuss really the technical points of music and things like that. But I think it's always good to go back and remember that at its core, music should be kind of a meditation. It should be a transcendental experience, a meditative experience. So the story goes like this. Charlie Banakis and Jerry Bergonzi used to work very, very closely when they were developing as musicians, and they used to share ideas and really try to get to that next level together. So they talk about meditation and how that can have an effect on, your idea of pitch and ear training and just generally being a better musician in the way that we're talking about, like being able to meditate on the music and really spiritually connect with your instrument and the music itself. So there's a story that they used to go outside and they used to both sit underneath a tree and they would meditate for 15 minutes trying to feel the vibration of the tree that they were sitting with their backs against. And then after 15 minutes, they would both kind of open their eyes, look at each other, and sing a pitch. And a lot of the time that they did this, they would actually sing the exact same pitch. So I think that that's just an unbelievable story that goes to show you that there's some kind of crazy spiritual connection that they had. And who knows if it was the actual vibration of the tree that they were sitting against, or if it was just some way that they were kind of connecting with each other that was really very important, and maybe sitting next to each other and feeling the same energy, they were able to recreate that same pitch after meditating for 15 minutes. I think it's just an unbelievably cool story. And this is coming from two very analytical musicians. If you know anything about Jerry Bergonzi's teachings, he's all about systems and really practicing everything inside out, upside down, at all tempos. He's one of the greats at teaching like that. And so is Charlie Bernakis. If anybody's seen any of the Charlie Bernakis teachings through people that have studied with him, which is a way that I had gotten a lot of the teachings of Charlie Bernakis, was through my teachers that had studied with him. He's also a very analytical musician. He has these very well-built systems where he uses very specific ways of playing a chord progression in every way possible to get you as skilled as possible. But it's really cool to think about the fact that at the end of the day, both of these gentlemen who are really at the top of their field would go back to meditating on the vibration of a tree. So I think that's something to get back to, right, in our daily life with music, is kind of remembering that at its core, if we're not getting something spiritual out of music, if we're not carving a little bit of time out of our day to go back to that kind of meditative state, whether that be listening to music or playing our instrument with no end goal, just playing our instrument to play and having that connection with the instrument, I think that's something that we all really need to do at the end of the day. And if we're not doing that, we're really missing out on a lot of what music is. And we're not really living our full musical life unless we have that really spiritual connection to the music. And it can seem kind of out there if you're not into meditation, if you're not into this kind of thinking in other ways of your life. You might go, yeah, that sounds cool, but I don't know, it sounds a little bit out there to me. But just try it. Just really, really try it. Because I think if you go back to why we all got into music in the first place, it's because at some point when we were listening to music or playing our instrument, we had that connection, whether it was conscious or not. That connection is really, really important. And I think you could probably trace it back to your decision to get into music in the first place or pick up an instrument in the first place. So if you want to check out this doctoral dissertation, it's available all over the internet. If you Google Charlie Bernakis and Lefteris Cordis, you can find it anywhere. I know it's on Scribd, which is also a great website if you're looking for practice materials and things like that. But you can find this, and I highly suggest it because he really goes into a lot of the things that made Charlie Bernakis great, and you can get a lot out of actually reading this doctoral dissertation. So search out Charlie Bernakis, Lefteris Cordis, and again, I'm sorry if he's heard this and I'm butchering his name. I apologize fully. All right, so that's going to do it for this week's Motivation Monday podcast. Make sure you get on the horn, practice. Try to make that spiritual connection with your listening or practice time at some point this week. See if it does anything for you. All right, we'll see you on Friday with a regular episode. Hope you have a great week, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.